In today's lesson, I want to go ahead and start working on our pickup prefab. We started outlining what we wanted the script to do, so today let's go ahead and start implementing some of that code. So I'm going to go ahead, take one of our pickups, just drop it right into our scene. There we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at the script. I have made a couple modifications to the comments on it, and I've added 2 tags up at the top here. So I've gone ahead, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you've seen me go over these tags over and over again, but we'll go over them one more time. So the disallow multiple components means that you can't attach this component to any game object more than once. If you do, you get an error and it'll tell you about it. And of course, it won't do it. Now, I'm also going to use a capsule collider so I can detect when something collides with it, as well as when we shoot it, because we're going to tag it as well. And that's actually what I put down here. So I'm going to start off with the on trigger enter, which of course takes a collider, which I'm just going to call col. And just to make sure this is working, I want to go ahead and debug log out the col.name. I'll go ahead, save that off, come back into Unity, and we'll just go ahead and drop it on the parent. Well, to be honest, we don't really need a parent, do we? But that's fine. We have one. We'll go ahead. We'll keep it. Let me just take a quick look here. I just want to show we didn't have a collider here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this pickup, the parent object, and we'll just go ahead and grab that script that we got, drop it on. It automatically adds that capsule collider for us. I do not need a rigid body for this because I have it on the ship. I'm just going to move the collider over a bit. Oh, crap. I'm used to it covering everything. I guess we should have dropped it. That's fine. We'll just go ahead and move it. I really do want it on the parent game object. So for the center, let's go up 2. 2's too much. 1. 1's not quite enough, but 1's good enough. We'll start there. Let's do a radius of 2. And I want to encompass as much as possible. So 2's not enough. We are going to have to move it up a bit. Let's try 2.5. There we go. We'll move it back in. And it does stick out, I think, a little too far. Yeah, the top and bottom. So let's bring this down to let's try 2.25. And there we go. It's right at the bottom and right at the top. It hits pretty much everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just go with that. I'm going to go ahead and apply it so it saves off to my scene. And let's go ahead and start working on the script. Oh, wait, we already have the function for on trigger enter. So let's go try that out. We'll shoot a debug when we fly into it. So we'll start the game up, start it up, and of course I hit an asteroid and almost died. Where is it? It's over there. It's right on an asteroid. Great. This is going to be a little trickier than I originally thought. Let's go. Oh, did I get it? No. Let's just go ahead and restart and move it. Let's move it over here. Let's move it to where there's not an asteroid. Go ahead, start the game. I should actually move it down too, so I don't have to keep going up and down. Ah, crap, completely missed it. And there we go, I hit it. We did on trigger enter though, so I forgot something. With it selected, I'm going to go ahead, switch this over to a trigger because we're testing for on trigger enter. And while I'm here, I'm also going to tag it as a pickup, because that's going to be the next step. So I'll do it now. Make sure to select it again and make sure, make sure to select it again and go ahead and take that pickup tag, apply it so it saves off to the prefab. I'm going to go ahead and move this down. Let's go ahead, hit start, then play. And didn't move it down enough. And there we go. So it went off for each collider that went through it, but that's fine. We only care about the first one that goes through because that's when we're actually going to do something with it. So we're going to come into on trigger enter so we know it works. So we're just going to check to see if col.transform.compare tag, the tag we're looking for is player. We don't actually have the event set up yet. So I'll just go ahead and move the debug statement down here. And we'll just say player hit us. And we'll be moving this soon because we also want a public method to call for when it actually shoots us. And we detect the colliding here. The public one is actually just for the direct call and the shooting, but we can also call it from the trigger as well. So we did the tagging. Let's get rid of that. So public does not need to return anything. I'm just going to call it pickup hit hot. No, hit. Then in here, we're going to want to go ahead and call the event that we need to add to score. Destroy self. And for the event, we're also going to pass in int for score. So we'll actually pass in the integer value as well, or we'll pause it. And I'm just going to come up here and make a static for that. And we'll go ahead and give 100 points every time they hit this. I don't quite like score. Let's try points. And of course, don't forget the equals. All right, so there we go. We have that taken care of down here. And this is where I'm going to call it from here. Pickup hit. So we can go ahead, check a couple more things off. Add score when this, okay, we've just moved that debug message. Now the create an event, the event itself is when it fires off, is going to trigger the respawning as well as adding of the points. And I may actually go ahead, let's actually keep them separate. So one for scoring points and one respawning a new pickup. So let's put that down here. So call event to spawn new pickup. The only thing we have left is to rotate the cube. So I'm going to go ahead, get the update ready. And we've got this on the asteroid already. So for homework, I want you to go ahead and take this code and go ahead and create a component and be able to put that on the asteroid as well as the pickup itself. So that way there you only have the code in one place. So I'm just actually going to copy and paste all this just because I'm in a little bit of a hurry. Go ahead and move this a little bit closer. And then we'll go ahead and grab the random rotation. I'll put it right under the static. I want to leave a space though. And then the random, which was down here. And I'll drop that in there as well. Grab that part of the update. Well, update down here. And there you go. As you see, we're just taking the exact same code. Pretty easy to put into its own method. And of course, we want to make sure we have our transform. So in my awake, I'm going to go off and get it. And I know that caching your transform now gives you very little performance gain, but it still gives you a little bit. And my rule of thumb is if you're going to go ahead and constantly keep calling your transform every frame, you might as well just cache it. It's only a couple lines of code. There we go. So we should be able to rotate. And we've got our trigger set up. Go ahead, save that off, hit play. And it rotates. Now, to be fair, look at it. It's rotating from down here. I want it to rotate from the center. And we can go ahead and fix that by setting the offset here. So what do we got here? On the Y 1.1, let's move it down. So now it's in the center. There we go. Now, I did that a little quick in case you missed it. If we go ahead and look at the pickup, it doesn't really matter where it is. We can put it at any spot. We'll just go 0. Well, we'll do it just for the sake of demonstration. I've gone ahead and put it at 0, 0, 0. What matters is the child object. Now, its transform here, its position, is relative to the first one. So you might look at it and go, oh, it's at 0, 0, 0. But it's not, because it's actually on the Y moved up 1.1 units. So its pivot point, its center, is actually up a little high. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that down. And there we go. Now, because of that, it looks like I can drop my collider down. See, I should have just put my collider on there. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do that. As much as I like having a parent game object above it in case I need to do anything, I know I'm not going to. We're almost done this series, but nah, 0. There we go. I'll just move it down. But if you want, you can go ahead, unparent this, which is going to break the prefab. But once you unparent it, go ahead and drop that script onto it, and then you can go ahead and position it that way, but that's okay. I'm going to keep it like this. We'll go ahead, we'll apply. I just want to take one more quick peek, make sure nothing's broken. Great. So in our next video, let's go ahead and get that event system set up. Then we can go ahead and start playing around with the respawning. And then the only thing we'll have left to do is the score and high score, which we'll do in one video. Anyways, until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. So if you liked the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It really does help me out here on YouTube. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter. You're a pretty chatty guy over there when I'm not walking through a forest or being stalked by eagles and falcons, lions, tigers, and bears.